What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. Let me know if everything's all right. The microphone's been a little fucky lately. I feel like maybe it's a little bit low, so I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. Let me know if that's too much. Let me know. Let me know if it's like too crazy. It might actually be peaking, which that might be okay. That might be okay. I'd like to believe that's okay. What I would need to do, which, like, I know I've said I'm kind of on my way out. It's not that I'm like actually done or I'm going to be done. It's that, like, I just don't know if I'm going to have the time to do this. But if I can continue doing this, I think what I need to do is I just need to give in, and I need to buy one of those microphone arms that puts the microphone right in front of your mouth, right? Even though, like, I hate that look. Like right now, it's kind of what I'm doing right now, but I have, like, the microphone stand is holding this, and of course this thing doesn't even fit properly into the holder. I don't know if you guys noticed, but oh, excuse me, I can see my white fusion in the background. I really like this stuff. I just have no reason to wear it, but I really like it, I've got to say. Anyway, what is going on, Peach Boy Official? What is going on, Heath Holloway? Thank you very much, Zachary Vered. Thank you, Joe Rogers, for showing up. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's showed up so far. We in this beer, says Peach Boy. Oh, real Peach Boy, real, not Peach Boy Official, but Peach Boy Real is his name now. Good riddance, I say. Exactly. Yes, good riddance, indeed, indeed. What's going on, Cherry Blossom? Watching on twitch.tv. Thank you for popping in tonight. Man, it was okay. A little bit more, to be honest. A little bit more. What? I'm confused. What you guys mean by that? Okay, that would be game changing. Yeah, it would be game changing. Half my face would be covered over, or I'd have a microphone just right here talking into it, like one of those like whenever you look up tips on how to become a good YouTuber, whenever you look up tips on how to get into like cybersecurity or coding or anything like that, there's always a guy with a YouTube channel dedicated to that specific thing that has the same exact editing, the same exact setup, the same exact kind of background. He has the same kind of chair, etc., etc., and it's really fucking annoying. I just don't want to be one of those guys, you know. That's annoying. That is annoying. Anyway, Tim Walz had to drop out of the governor's race. His autistic son has been punching holes in brick walls. That's pretty funny. Um, like, just because you run against the lesser of two evils, I don't think you're like, it doesn't mean I hate you. I wouldn't say I hate Tim Walz anyway, right? Like, no, regardless of what he's done. Hate is it's good to not give in to hate. That's Hate is not the Jedi way. But when it comes to Tim Walz, the moment I knew that I didn't like him, like, personally, like, that he was the worst kind of fucking guy, was when he decided he would be a white minstrel for Kamala Harris. That, like, he did. Every time I talk about this, I'm better off just pulling it up. I'll pull it up so that you guys can get a better feel. Um, a video that I had ready to go for later started playing, and I had to fuck around. Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, tacos. We're gonna go ahead, right? Yes, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. We're gonna like this. This right here is the moment that I knew I wanted Tim Walz to like I wanted, not just I want him to lose the presidential race. I don't want him to be vice president. No, I wanted to see this guy have a legitimate downfall. And I'm so glad people are driving by this dude's house to call him a retard. I'm not saying anyone should do that. I'm saying that since it's happened, it's so fucking funny that it happened. But don't do that. Definitely don't do that. But this, let me unmute.
Like, I have white guy tacos and
What does
like
that
black,
mean? Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge.
I'm the first vice president that has ever grown chili peppers. George Washington grew weed. The first president grew bud. something you were putting people in prison for. Not that I'm a big weed guy. Not that I'm a big fucking weed guy. You know, fuck weed guys. But like, the first president grew bud, and you're gonna sit here like, I think I'm the first to get the president to grow chili peppers. Fucking, you fucking Bill Cosby sounding bitch. She sounds like Bill Cosby. She, like honestly,
I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand.
there's like a Bill Cosby quality to her voice when like Bill is not completely hopped up on the Quaaludes, but maybe he's taken one instead of his usual 4, 5, 6. Before he gets into the pudding pops, he's at like a on from a 1 to 10 on the Cosby scale. He's at like a 3. There is like Kamala Harris is like she's got a Cosby quality to her voice. I'm just realizing, and the way she's saying that, the first one to grow chili peppers. No, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You know. But this isn't even supposed to be about Kamala. I'm so glad she's out of the fucking way. This guy right here. The second he decided he would be a minstrel. You know, he's a white minstrel talking about black pepper is the top of the spice chain in Minnesota. We do white people tacos. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. And you know what's funny too? The whole ground beef and cheese thing. It's like, have you ever had like a birria taco? They're not that good. Like they're not that good. There is a severe lack of spice on actual authentic Mexican tacos. It's so funny. The amount of foods that if you go to an authentic like Mexican or like other restaurant, the amount of foods that are bland as fuck, it makes you wonder where the hell the idea that white people don't season their chicken. It makes you wonder where that idea came from in the first place. But like the second he decided this is the guy he was gonna be, that this was gonna be the vice president of the United States, was Joe Biden, but worse. Because at least Joe Biden, you know, he did the whole, hey, I'll punch your sister right in the mouth, fat. Hey, listen up here, fat. You know, like he'd do that thing, but like I didn't sense a minstrelness to him. You know, this dude is straight up like, I'm gonna play up white stereotypes to endear myself to people who want to see whites as like pets, is what this is. You know. It's fucking awful, you know. They literally eat crickets and ants in Mexico, exactly, you know. Oh, birria. I heard Iberia. Isn't that the same thing though? Joe Biden, but more pathetic and younger. Yes, that's exactly the way to put it, Arthur Morgan. And you balls on you for joining up with the crayon eaters at the time you did, because this could have been the second in command. This could have been your second in command. This could have been your fucking primary commanding, like whatever. The commander in chief. This is what I was looking for. This could have been your commander in chief. And if she had a heart attack or something like that, this would have been your commander in chief. And boy, oh boy, would that have been bad. So fucking you got some balls, the balls on this kid for joining up when you did, because me specifically, I've thought about joining up at different times in my life, and every time I think, yeah, but like I don't know that I want to join up, and then out of nowhere, like either A, the president is trash, like of course I didn't want to join up with my fucking phone just lit up. Of course I didn't want to join up. Oh, all right. I was checking something out. Anyway, fucking like I graduated 2013. Obama was like he wasn't even a year into his next term. You know, he was like probably 6 months into his second term. I got tons of people who were like, you should join up, you should join up, you should join up, you know? A fucking military, I'm pretty sure it was a Marine recruiter, too. I'm, like, walking out of my job at a grocery store, and he stops in his car, and he's trying to recruit me as he's sitting in his car and I'm on like the fucking sidewalk, right? And he was like, so what do you think you want to do with yourself? I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about going to a culinary school. And he was like, oh, Marines cook for the president. And it's like, no, they fucking don't. What are you talking about? Why? What are they gonna cook for the president? MRE fucking omelets. They're gonna. What do you mean cook? You fucking idiot! Get out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face, recruiter scum. Fucking I should have kicked the dude's fucking. I should have kicked the dude's rear view mirror off of the off the side of the car. That would have been the best. But coulda woulda shoulda. Yeah, like I just remember like a few times either A, someone's like, "Hey, you should join up," or B, me thinking, I don't know, maybe I should join up. And then I look at who's in office or who could be in office and I'm just like, nah, no, 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 no. My friend who I met actually like a month or two before that story that I told about the Marine recruiter at my job, he came back from Afghanistan. He was trying to be a lifer. He wanted to work up to the Green Berets, and unfortunately, he got too hurt as an Army Ranger to continue on. I would assume to this day, he has grand mal seizures because of some of the issues that he got from that. But I can remember him telling us stories about like, yeah, the Army just stopped fucking supplying us out of nowhere for some reason. I don't know why. It just kind of happened. Like I guess Obama was just like, nah, don't bother, and we just didn't get food, and we were told we had to go into town and buy goats with our own money. Like he'd tell me stories about that, and it's like, yeah, I know that's active duty. Well, active duty, like deployed into a war zone, but like you're not gonna tell me the supply lines were cut off by some fucking Afghan farmers sitting in caves. That's not the way that works. Obama just decided to stop feeding the fucking troops randomly, you know? So it's like, yeah, I don't know, you know? I don't fucking know. Come on, Scott, aren't you a patriot? Yeah. Fucking let me bump into a recruiter and he tells me, cuz like I've never you never hear stories about how recruiters are good dudes. You never hear stories about how recruiters are good dudes. It's always like, yeah, no, he lied and said that I would get to pick whatever I wanted to do, and now I'm deployed in the Middle East as a rifleman even though I wanted to be a mechanic. It's like that type of shit, you know? Or excuse me, every Marine as a rifleman. Every Marine shoves the barrel of their rifle down their throat. Fucking it's like fuck, these fucking recruiters, man. Like you never hear good things about them, you know? There's always something where it's like, yeah, he's fucking the high school girl that he's trying to get in to the fucking Corps. It's like just disgusting, you know? Tim Walsh's son has accidentally killed every pet he's ever owned. I bet he has. He's with the way dad is, I bet his son is probably like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. He's probably like, I want to pet the rabbits, and then he fucking like crushes them to death. I could totally believe that. If Michelle Obama becomes president, America will never have had a woman president. Yes, it will have had two black male presidents. I really think that's why Michelle Obama would not get elected. You know, she's very much like Hillary Clinton, where um, crusty old women and the worst kind of liberal younger chick that will browbeat everybody around her into dust about how they need to vote for her, or else they are misogynistic and all this other shit, And just like it failed for Hillary Clinton, it's gonna fail for Michelle Obama too, because there's also gonna be that racial element where like you're gonna have black people who want to vote for her, and it's gonna be the worst white women and the worst black people beating the hell out of you, sometimes physically, but usually just browbeating you over you being racist and misogynistic for not wanting Michelle Obama in there. And that, just like every other time, is going to fail. Now, of course, they could pull some free and fair election bullshit, They could they could easily do that, That's probably what they will do. But You know. You know. Can anyone see what I'm typing? Why the fuck am I shadow banned? It's because I shadow banned you. I pull the strings, Hi Ecuador. I bet Tim's daughter grips like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Hell yeah. Um, I think Oprah is the likeliest future female president. I could see Oprah because she doesn't have the baggage. I could see Oprah because she doesn't have the baggage that other females do. Specifically females that I could see running for president. Like I'm watching that Civil War movie from A24, and Kirsten Dunst is in it. Like she couldn't be president, you know. Um, like she doesn't have enough of a profile. She doesn't have enough power, you know. Just as an example, when it comes to like what I'm talking about when I mention like when it comes to the women who are going to be president or could be, you know. The viable candidates is the word that is the word that I mean to be using. The best woman president will have to be the ugliest, oldest, most frigid woman born. Nah, nah. I think that would make it worse actually, because like um when you see a lot of these like hardcore leftist women, like who are they? They're not pretty women. Like sure, you get some pretty girls who are like left wing, but like it's more of a social thing. They aren't reading anything by Marx. They aren't reading the Scum Manifesto. They're not reading any of that shit. They're not dyeing their hair as a means to show that they're a certain way, you know. They're still shaving their armpits because they care about whether or not they're attractive to men. But you see a lot of these lesbian looking, and if they're not lesbians, then they're just like, I mean, a lot of lesbians are dysgenic. Um, but like at the very least you can understand why a lesbian would choose to be that way, because that's just kind of the thing they got going on internally in Lesbo Inc. In Lesbos Incorporated. That's just what they do, right? But like when it's like a straight woman who looks bullish, it's like that's just straight up dysgenic. Like it's just disgusting, you know. A woman like you said, frigid, you know. A woman who looks like she smells like um like the inside of a coffin, you know. Like just that type of shit, you know. I fucking hate that statement. I'm not a fucking rifleman. I fix the rifleman's guns. If I'm on the front lines, we are cooked. Yeah. Arthur, if you ever end up on the front lines, I want to review your your GoPro footage. You got to send GoPro footage to review. I want to see the light fade. I want to see the light fade from somebody's eyes. You got to get a close up of that so we can review it. Um okay. I woke up so late today. It's so annoying. I just could not sleep last night. It's so frustrating. But anyway, Of Mice and Men, my favorite novella. Yeah, Of Mice and Men was not the worst. It was definitely not the worst book that I ever had to read. I'll say that much. Let me get back into the thing. Oh, excuse me. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, I'm 50-50 here, right? I don't think I'll get in trouble if I show it because you can't really see anything. Um I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble if I show it because you can't really see anything. But also I'm like, yeah, should I show it? It's the footage of the Minneapolis shooting that everybody's like, you know, freaking out about and stuff like that. Let me see if I can uh Minimandraki. Uh I want to find an I want to actually, what am I doing? I should go to X. I should go to x.com. That's where I should go. x.com. Um Home Alone star Daniel Stern cited for soliciting prostitution. Damn. That's That's crazy, dude. That's wild. Police shooting. I'll just do video. There's actual, like, not Fox News, not like, okay, so that works out. So we'll go ahead and we'll go over it. We might as well. I don't think he said his friends don't hear him out. Maybe he chooses isolation. I don't know. What are you talking about, Zach? Sup guys, this is Arthur This is Arthur Morgan live from the front lines. This next kill is sponsored by Scott Sullivan MMA. Hell yeah. That's how you have to you have to whisper that in his ear. You have to be like, Scott Sullivan MMA paid for this. Turn it into an ASMR. I voted for Kamala because she's got a big fat ass. Imagine her walking up those plane steps. Hell yeah. I didn't vote for Trump the first term, and based on performance, I probably would not have, but did vote for his second term and am loving the result. I mean, I don't vote. I don't, and it's not even for any, like, I don't vote because the system's fucked. It's literally that, for one thing, I know that a single vote is not going to make a difference in the state of Massachusetts, if we're just being honest here, right? But then in addition to that, I know that I'm going to vote, and whatever happens, happens. And then on top of that, I'm going to get called for fucking jury duty. So I'm all set on that. So I just don't vote. I got called for jury duty once in my life, and I was like, I hated it so much that I was just like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. I don't need to do this. No. Thank you very much for the $5 speech, boy. Why are Canadians overrepresented in amongst the Hollywood elite? Well, because they're hard workers, damn it. Because they're hard workers and they're smart. They're smarter than you. They're smarter than me too. You know? Canadians are really God's chosen people when you think about it. I'm confused. Like capping interest rates on credit cards today. What was the cap? What was the cap? What did they cap the interest rates at? I'm supposed to be best man in one of their weddings. We are close friends. We just don't agree politically at all. So we get each other riled up over shit like this. I haven't been keeping up with what you were saying, Buster. I'm confused about that. I'm gonna have to scroll up and see what you were talking about. Scott, what would you do if you were that cop? Well, what I would do is I'd say, hey, smart guy, think about what you're doing here right now. You know what's gonna happen if you hit that gas? You're gonna hit me, and when you hit me, the whole world of shit is gonna fall right down on top of your head. So why don't you do the smart thing and turn off that car and hop right out? And she would have been like, whoa, shit, he's got me in a box. And she would have turned the car off and she would have hopped out. And everybody would have clapped, is what would have happened. Why was he filming on his phone from the jump? Don't they have body cams? That's weird. He circles the car several times. Yeah, I mean, like, it's tough to know what the deal is because, like, I don't know if they were ICE. I don't know if they were police. Not all police have body cams. Body cams are kind of taken for granted. Not everywhere has them. Like my town, they only got them within the last, like, year and a half, and this is ever since, like, 2020, where there's been a renewed push to, like, have police accountability and stuff like that. So maybe this guy just doesn't have body cam, you know, or maybe they don't do body cams on all the ICE guys. Maybe only some of them have body cams, or maybe this was not a raid that required this guy to have a body cam or something like that. You know, I don't know exactly. They confirmed he's ICE, and the latest FBI raided. The latest is the FBI raided and cleaned out his home. Of course they did. Fucking of course they did. You know, it's amazing. Two terms with Trump getting fucked over by people in different agencies and things like that. You would think by now he'd be like, yo, identify anybody who is a fucking closeted commie and get him the fuck out. But instead he puts in Kash Patel, who always looks like a deer in the headlights, you know? And he's just like, dude, cleaning up the fucking Bureau, making sure that the Bureau actually represents American values? No. I got a podcast to go on. I have The Watch. It's like, you fucking idiot, you know? But yeah. That's so fucking stupid. Anyway, so yeah, here we have the quote unquote body cam. It's really the dude was on his phone. All right. I don't know if this guy is the cop that shot. I'm pretty sure it is. But you know, I guess we'll see. So he hops out of the car, right? And it's pretty clear what's going on here to me. This person's trying to block traffic, specifically because of the ice people. It's funny. One of the things that sticks out to me is it's funny because you have a lot of people, whether it's leftists or if it's like the Jake Shields tier grifters. Jake Shields, like I've talked about him recently. It's such a shame how much of a grifter that dude's become. Like, and it's got nothing to do with his politics, right? It's just he is clearly wrapped up in that wing of politics where like it's not about actually doing the right thing, or it's not about actually having coherent values and having like a strategy to try and make the world better, or even just an understanding of like why the world is fucked up outside of just it's the Jews, right? He's just fallen into that trap of like just the guy like I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. It's just when I think of Jake Shields, it's just like, man, the fucking fall that guy had. He turned into such a fucking hoe, is what it is. I called him a hoe earlier today on Twitter, and of course, I'm sure he saw it, but he ignored it, you know? Like, Jake Shields and that ilk they're hoes. They're chicken heads, you know? Nothing that happens ever will ever make them happy under any circumstances, no matter what. And that is by design, because the kind of politics that they're into is grievance politics. They always have to have an issue with what happens every fucking time something happens, no matter what. And it's funny because they show a picture of this woman clearly like 8 to 10 years younger. They pulled a Trayvon Martin with this woman, where they're showing a much better looking picture of her. And here she is, she's in her late 30s, and she does not look very good. She does not look healthy. Like, you can see in the eyes, there's something missing there. And then just everywhere else follows suit, excuse me. So that right away was just like, huh, interesting. When I saw all these pictures of this woman on Twitter, and then we saw the up close of like her final moments, which this is crazy, right? Let's not forget that this is a living being, and these are her final moments. Even if it's my enemy, I'm not gonna cry, but I also want to be careful not to laugh too much. I know the title of this is kind of a joke about the situation, but you know, it is still tragic. It is tragic.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen.
You see, I have something to say about this type of woman right here, right? The butch lesbian woman, right? Who desperately wants to be like a man without actually being a man. They are some of the worst people to deal with. They can be really cool, but the second they get upset about something, that's when the feminine anger comes out, and the feminine entitlement comes out as well. It's not just the feminine anger, but it's also the feminine entitlement as well. I've dealt with it personally, right? Even butch women that I think are like really cool, and I got their back when it comes down to it. Like, every single one of them I've had some kind of fucking issue with, because even though they're bros, they're broy, they still have that feminine fucking like switch in their brain that comes on the second they feel they can get something out of it, you know? And that's exactly what this woman is doing. She's like trying to do the whole I'm standing on business cuz I'm a man type of deal, but she's doing it in the most feminine way with her fucking phone, and she's like she knows like what are you gonna do, hit a girl? Like that's the attitude that she's presenting right now, you know.
Later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking.
Yeah, that's fine. Trying to pretend like her voice isn't naturally like a few octaves higher. That's fine. U.S. citizen, fucking former fucking veteran. And hold on.
You wanna come at us?
Yeah.
You wanna come at us? Fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran.
The former fucking veteran, like that's one of those things that bothers me too, when it comes to like especially the older generations, and this is gonna happen with the millennials too, but like they're especially with the boomers, and you see this with Gen X. There's this weird I'm a veteran, I served my country, that means I get to be a fucking asshole in public about it, you know. There's something about that it's like you were the worst. I know you were. You were the worst at everything you did in whatever service branch you were in. Assuming you were even in a service branch, you'd be surprised how many of these people get dishonorably discharged, or they end up in a situation where like they're just lying. Like I saw a guy, he bought like a Ranger hoodie like this, but it had Ranger across it, and he's trying to pretend as though he's like a dissatisfied Ranger vet who's like upset, who's upset where the country's going, you know. It's just it's so fucking stupid, dude, you know. There's this weird thing where veterans, like not even like veterans necessarily in like the grand scheme of things, but there's a lot of people out there who like they think saying veteran is like some kind of like it's like a magic spell, you know, like some Harry Potter shit, you know. Expelliarmus, veteran. It's like, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? What do you think this is gonna do? You fucking idiot, you know. Fuck, I forget what else I was gonna say. People keep texting me, and I'm like, I'm getting fucking distracted by it. I gotta do my I gotta do my thing here. Fucking anyway, putting that down. But damn, I was gonna say something else, and I think it was specifically regarding that, you know. But it was just like it was. Oh yeah, I remember. There's been a concerted effort to do a couple of different things on the left wing, and they will succeed in some of these things, but in other things they will not succeed. Like for instance, they're trying to take back edgy humor and edgy things from the right wing, right? Which it feels stupid talking about it like this, but this is how they view what they are trying to do. And what you're seeing is like you know, the Chapo Trap House type guys, the quote unquote scumbag leftist. That's what Nick Mullen was kind of like. He was kind of like flirting with that along with the other Come Town guys in the early stages of the Come Town podcast. That's why them and Chapo would always like, you know, collab, and you know, like it's none of my business if they're still friends and if they still do shit together. That's like whatever. I'm not here to be like, and you know what, they shouldn't be talking to those guys like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just like pointing out like what's happening is like they have podcasts and they make videos, and there's music now where they say gay and retard, and you're supposed to think that that is like, whoa, dude, these aren't your typical snowflake leftists. These guys are tough. That's what they're trying to do. You're seeing that reemerge in music. And this isn't even my observation. It's somebody else that is like, he has his hand on the pulse of what's going on politically in the music scene, right? You're seeing like old time hardcore bands from back when FSU was a thing. They're coming back, and they have like some newer listeners, meaning like younger listeners and stuff like that. That's like the left trying to pretend like they're still hardcore kids and stuff like that. But then you also have another version of that, which is hick left. And what that is they're trying to co-opt redneck anything, redneck culture, country vibes, you know, whatever. As long as it's like a down home, salt of the earth kind of like, we just don't do that because it ain't right kind of thing. They're going to try and apply that to like trans shit and grooming children is what they're going to do. And that's what's happening is you're seeing more and more of these people pretending they were in the army or something like that. So that they can try and be like, you know, this ain't the country that I fought for. A country where a child can't get raped by a fucking grown man. That's not the country I was fighting for. We need to let these grown men rape these kids. Like, that's the type of shit that these guys are coming out of the woodwork to try and say. They throw on a flannel, you know, or they buy a Ranger hoodie for $20 off eBay. And they come out and they're like, well, you know, I served my country, and I have to say that trans rights are human rights, and if you disagree with that, well, you're just plain un-American. You know, they're trying to do that, and there's a couple of reasons for that. For one thing, if they own something, if there's something that they do or they have that is like, it's almost kind of like it's like skinheads, right? There's tons of different kinds of skinheads, and skinheads did not start as like a right wing or national socialist or like white pride sort of thing. They started off as just a group of people who organized around, not even organized, just like hung around each other based off of similar interests and similar socioeconomic statuses and things like that. And then eventually politics got injected in there, and you had racist skinheads, yes, but you also had anti-racist skinheads. And what happened is eventually, when you think skinhead, when the average person thought skinhead, they thought, oh, racist, like national socialist dude who has no fucking hair. So now you can be like you can be a sharp, you can be rash, and people are just going to automatically assume you're a fucking neo-Nazi because you're a skinhead, right? If your enemy has hegemony over a specific thing, whether it's a subculture or even like a plot of land or anything like that, that means you do not have it. If your enemy has it, you don't have it. So they're trying their best to push right-wingers out of anywhere that they could potentially have a home, and anywhere that they can try their best to like have any kind of effect on culture, whether it's underground or above ground. And there's one piece of it, but then the other piece of it is that specifically when it comes to rednecks, right? When it comes to that like country culture, the hick left thing, there is an almost metaphysical correctness, right? Or I don't know how else to say it. There is a like the way these people live, the way these like damn, it's so fucking annoying. I'm trying to think of a way to say what I want to say. I know what I want to say. These people, right? These salt of the earth, like country folk type people, they live the way they do because in their hearts and in their minds, they are 100% convinced, or they know 100% that that is the thing to do. And you just don't question it, right? There is a certain assuredness to the knowledge or the experiences or the wisdom of the country guy, right? And that's why the left likes that so much. That's why the left wants that so much, is because they're trying to kick out that traditional down home folk wisdom that the country boy is known for in the minds of people, right? And they're trying to replace that wisdom with trans rights are human rights, and if you don't think so, you're just plain un-American, and you're not allowed at my cattle drive. You ain't allowed at my cattle drive if you don't think trans rights is human rights. you ain't allowed to come to my square dance if you don't think that kids should be taught about butt sex. Like that's literally what they're trying to do. I'm doing such a horrible job of explaining all this because I didn't think I'd have to. I figured we were just gonna watch the video and that's it. Well, I was obviously gonna talk about it, but I didn't expect to get that deep into it. But there's just something like there's something viscerally disgusting to me about like these stolen valor leftists pretending they're veterans in the moment to try and get you to like stop, as though you're gonna be like that guy is gonna hear I'm a fucking veteran and he's gonna turn around and be like, huh? Oh, excuse me, sorry ma'am, ICE agent Roberts reporting for duty, ma'am. What would you like for me to do, ma'am? Like it's just viscerally disgusting to me. And there is a reason why. There is a reason why people do that, specifically leftists. You're seeing more and more like veterans who they're like, well, actually, I don't think anybody should have an AR. I shot M16s in Afghanistan. I was on base the whole time, and I never faced anybody in real combat. But I shot M16s when I was in the army, and I can tell you, nobody needs an AR-15. But you know what people do need? It's to learn about taking a girl dick in the butt. And if you don't agree that everybody should take a girl dick in the butt, well, you're just plain un-American. And take it from me, I'm a veteran. I served my country. When you see me, you better salute me and buy me a drink because I served my country, and I say that we should allow abortion up to birth and beyond. If a mother decides 5 days into having her baby that she doesn't want the baby anymore, then we should take the baby right out of the crib and spike it into the ground because that's un-American if you don't agree with that, It's gross, This fucking bitch just got over 1.5 million on GoFundMe for this shooting. Oof. GoFundMe needs to take that down because she was aiding and abetting a crime. We should have a Scott Sullivan meetup that's just a square dance. I'll be there. I'll be on the fiddle. War is cool. I agree. Scott, we need a live reaction to the season 5 Loster. I see High Ecuador saying CTE in action. After saying Loster, I don't know that I can argue. Fucking Scott, we need a live reaction to the season 5 roster leak screenshot. Was there an actual season 5 roster leak? Or was it like the one from I think it was season 2 or 3? There was one that was like very clearly fake, Oh, excuse me. American History X didn't help. Hollywood media love forming narratives. Oh yeah, completely and totally, There's other skinhead movies though, like there's one Boots and Bracers. I'm pretty sure it was called Boots and Bracers. I always get confused if it's Boots and Bracers or Boots and Braces. But yeah, it's an Australian movie. It's got I believe it was not fucking Kurt Russell. What am I talking about? Russell Crowe. Yes, Russell Crowe is in that movie, and I talked to a guy that I know who was a skinhead, and he was like, that movie fucking sucked, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, This looks legit. It was posted on Bant about an hour ago. Are you just trying to get me to go on Bant? Is that what this is? I mean, I'll check it out, but let's finish this.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. Out of the car.
I say look at the expression change when she hears get out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Look at the expression change. Look at the change go from, yeah, you think you're going to fuck with me? No, you're not, to, oh, look at that. Look. Out of the car. She's like, oh shit. She just immediately fucking not even like a stop and look at what's going on. She's just like, ooh, time to go. We overstayed our welcome. Time to go. Out the car. Look at that. Get out of the fucking bang, right for that door handle. Right for that fucking door handle. That is so fucking funny. Look at how she tied those boots. Oh boy, yeah. That's what happens when everything's an aesthetic, you know? Like flannel didn't become like a roughneck item of clothing because it looks nice. None of this became roughneck clothing because it looked nice. It became roughneck clothing because you need boots to walk around in the snow, and flannel was nice and comfortable, and it kept heat in, you know, and other pieces of that. I'm still trying to figure out what this is. I didn't mention that at first. Is that a rape whistle? Is that a rape whistle? I'm genuinely curious about that, you know. Former veteran, probably a non-combat secretary, probably not even a former veteran, dude, if we're being honest here, you know. Fucking like going through boot camp, I've never heard anybody say boot camp was tough. Literally. I've never heard anyone say boot camp was tough. Even people who failed, they're just like, yeah, I missed my mom, like that type of shit. If you've ever talked to anybody who went through a basic training or a boot camp or anything, even like the Marines, they're not like, dude, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking all right. Okay.
Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Boom. So yeah, it almost sounds like this dude got hit. Fucking bitch. So, oh, look at the smile.
Get out of the car.
You see, and this is part of the issue, right? Is that this is fun to them. This is fun to them. A lot of people have a darkness that exists in them that they are not comfortable with. I'm comfortable with the darkness that exists in me only because I recognize that it exists in me and I'm not going to fight it, right? And that sounds like so there's two wolves inside of you. I know, but like I'm trying to make a point about the human condition here. We all have that darkness inside of us, regardless of whether you want to admit it is there or not. And in the mind of the average leftist, they are not allowed to admit that that darkness exists inside them. They can say that they are like white and privileged. They can say that they are thin and privileged. They can say that they have this or that, right? But that personal like darkness, that personal Machiavellian, like I just want to see people suffer. Even Machiavelli didn't want to see people suffer so much as it was just like, hey, here's how you get what you want by any means necessary, right? Including fucking not so scrupulous things, unscrupulous things, right? But like there is an evil, there is a cruelty that exists inside of man, everybody, myself included. And these people, leftists, whoopsies. These people, these leftists, right? Not to go Ben Shapiro on it, right? But like these people are not allowed to admit that there is a darkness inside of them. It's not that somebody will like get them, they won't get in trouble for it. It's just that it does not compute. It does not align with their worldview, and because of that, they simply can't, their egos cannot admit that they are fucked up. And this is the way that they get their rocks off, is you see the happy look, you see the grin. She doesn't realize that this is the last 3 to 5 seconds of her life. She has no fucking clue. In her mind, what is happening is she's getting away with trolling ICE because ICE are the bad guys. And she's going to totally do it, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, you were such a badass for that. You're a badass woman is what you are. Whoa, that's crazy. I can't believe it. And now she's dead. She wanted to go out there to feed that darkness, and she got fed a bullet to the head. And she has nobody but herself and her fucking butch wife, her butch lover, to blame. That's all. That's it. You know, I guess she had kids or a kid. I guess the dad died in 2023. And she's sitting there playing these games. She's the only living parent of her child or children, and she played these games, and now she's not living anymore because she had to feed that dark side. I understand when somebody is shitty, they're shitty and you want to fuck with them, right? And I don't think the ice guys are shitty. I think this woman is just, you know, she's too far down. She's sniffed her own farts for too long, right? Like I get it. When you see somebody who's shitty, you want to be able to be like, "Yo, you're shitty," you know? But there's a difference between recognizing and just like acknowledging and what this woman did. And she paid the price, you know? It's like, hey, what you gonna do? And that's what, like, as a side note that is very, very related to this, I think what it comes down to is people have too much time on their hands, right? Like whether you're on the left or the right wing, if you have too much time on your hands, if you have too much privilege, not the buzzword privilege, but if you are privileged enough to not have to constantly be worried about your survival at all times, you will get bored and you will find ways to fill that boredom, and not all of them are going to be good ways to fill the boredom. One of those ways is deciding you're going to champion the cause of fucking dysgenic AIDS looking Somalians in a city that they don't even fucking like. I guarantee you they come from a desert climate, and you drop them off in a very snowy region of the United States, and you're supposed to expect them to be happy to be there in the first place. But like this, you know, that aside, right? This woman decided she would fill the boredom with Somalians, and now she's dead, and the Somalians don't care. The fucking Somalis, they would throw her off a balcony. They would throw her off of a fucking roof or a bridge, or they would put a bullet in her head if she was gay in Somalia. You know, we all know this. That's just the way it is. That's the way those people are. You know? So, I mean, good going. Fucking good going. You know? Congratulations. You know, as I get older, it becomes more and more apparent to me. The obvious becomes more and more apparent to me. This is like, I usually don't go to 4chan, so I'm like, oh, am I doing this right? Oh, am I doing this right? I'm pretty sure Bant is actually called random. Yes. It was the international /random. And I have to be very careful because I don't want porn to pop up suddenly. I would assume this first, yeah, it says season 5 cast leaked. Hmm. Who's the Oh, I thought I recognized this dude for a second. I saw Massachusetts, and I saw 31 male, and I was like, oh, that's how old I am, and that's where I live. Huh, interesting. And I saw, like, from afar, this dude looked like somebody I knew. I was like, no, this can't happen twice. Two people that I know IRL cannot be on 2 fucking seasons in a row. There's no way. But like, I don't actually know this guy. This chick looked familiar. I think it kind of looked like I think it almost kind of looked like Just a Minx to me for a second, you know? Vetted, signed, confirmed. So we have Danielle from Michigan. She looks like a Michigander, I will say that much. We have James from Massachusetts. He is vetted and signed. We have Chloe, who is vetted and signed, but I don't know why she's yellow. She's from Vermont. We have Corey from Iowa, apparently. Elena from Pennsylvania. Javier from Texas. I like this guy. I like this guy. He's got a friendly look to him. I hope he doesn't turn out to be a fucking freak. Myra from North Carolina. And Micah from Louisiana. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe it's a very elaborate hoax. I don't know. You know, I don't know. If it was an elaborate hoax, good for whoever did that. That's a lot of work. You know, I guess it matters that much to you. But yeah. I mean, I guess that's yeah. I mean, I don't know that I have much to say about these people because I've only seen pictures of them right now, and I don't know if it's actually the real people, you know? I guess we will see. I'm curious what else is going on with them. I'm gonna do the same thing as the Somalis, but way better on a bigger scale. Hell yeah. That's what we should do. Vermonters are weird. Yeah, Vermont, New England is like miniature California, and there's like each state has its own little Californian archetype, right? And Vermont is where all the hippies are. Vermont is where the hippies are. Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Connecticut for that matter, is where all the punks are, where all the like skinheads and like hardcore kids and stuff like that. That's where they are. It's also where a lot of the Latino and black gangs are. Michigan, what the fuck, Michigan, New Hampshire and Maine, I would say are like the northernmost parts of California, where it's like the place where they want to break off and rename themselves to Jefferson. That's a thing that a lot of counties in Northern California want to do. They want to break away and rename their state the state of Jefferson. It's not just California either. I think it's part of Washington as well. I'm pretty sure, and maybe even part of Idaho. I forget exactly where that is, but yeah, you know, it's interesting the similarities, you know. So that chick's probably some kind of like weird like you get this weird combination of hick plus hippie hickeys. They're hickeys. This chick's probably a hickey. You know, the Vermont chick, the Chloe chick, you know. New Hampshire is the best New England state. I would say I agree. I was up in Lincoln in late November. And if I could live up there in the summer, I definitely would. There's something about that place that I really do just like. I like the small town, old time feel. You know, it's not overly populated. That to me is really cool. I really like that. Um, you know, but hey, they confirmed the wife was wearing a whistle. Renee Good's wife breaks silence on fatal ICE shooting. We had whistles, they had guns. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. She's gonna be the next David Hogg, except it's gonna be for like lesbian police brutality. And nobody's gonna give a fuck. Nobody is gonna care about this woman. I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised we're still talking about it as much and as hard as we are a couple of days later, right? But I will say that the outrage and the things that are happening are not nearly as much as even the Charlie Kirk situation, for one thing, right? But then in addition to that, there's no way this is going to go anywhere. It will not go anywhere. For one thing, riot season is always in the spring. Okay. When I was in activism, it would always slow down in the winter. The latest we ever did anything was December, and it was not a big rally. It was not a big event. It was like we decided we were going to flash mob somewhere, show up somewhere, and cause a ruckus is what we did. Other than that, you never saw anything in the winter. It just didn't happen because nobody wants to be outside, especially not in a place like Minneapolis or Massachusetts or anywhere further north. Minneapolis is, you know, it's Minneapolis and then Minnesota and then Canada. We got Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Canada, you know. people don't come out to riot in the winter. It just doesn't happen, you know. And then on top of that, this is also a white woman that we're talking about. The black community, which is used as a shield by white activists, they're not going to be activated by a white woman dying. It's not going to happen, you know. Even if she was even if she took a bullet for a black person, they wouldn't be like, shit, we got to riot for this, you know. The black community is very specific in the way that they will activate after something like that, you know, and that's why you saw like this is something I talked about on Twitter today. I can remember back in 2020. I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but before George Floyd popped off, there was Ahmaud Arbery. What they were trying to do is orchestrate a color revolution in the United States by activating, you know, I guess literal and figurative, but they were trying to stoke the flames of a color revolution in the United States by activating the black community en masse to create bedlam in American cities and anywhere else that they could afford to. And their first way of trying to do that was the Ahmaud Arbery situation, where they had this dude who was quote unquote out for a jog, and you know during that jog he would stop and steal things off of you know, construction sites and stuff like that. You had two people who were trying to make a citizen's arrest, and instead of him doing the right thing and stopping and submitting to the citizen's arrest, since he was factually found to be doing something that was worthy of a citizen's arrest, which is fucking burglary, right? He decided he was going to try and fight the guys who had guns. And guess what happened? Exactly what you would have expected. He got shot. They threw that all over the place. You saw it all over Facebook. I can remember this one guy that I know. I won't give too many details about who he was because he's a good guy, but he leans a little left in that way. Like I remember seeing this is a white dude, by the way. I remember seeing a Facebook status by him that was like, I just ran my ass off for Ahmaud Arbery. He said that. I just ran my ass off. It's like, holy fucking shit. They tried their best to activate the black community to go and commit violent acts. And they couldn't do that with Ahmaud Arbery. So when George Floyd happened, they immediately stopped talking about Ahmaud Arbery. You notice that? Like, as soon as George Floyd happened, they did, fucking who? Ahmaud who? Who? What? No, we're talking about George Floyd now. And sure enough, that's what got what they wanted, you know, and a color revolution that was funded partially by the U.S. government via USAID, you know, USAIDs, USAIDs, and other NGOs that get their funding from the government. You know, that took off. Like, I don't need to tell you guys, you know. It's not like any of you guys were born in 2021. Have you ever seen The Happy Merchant but Irish? Yeah, I have. That is pretty funny. The Happy Merchant, you know. Boy, those micks sure would be sore without their Gorta Moore. Sorry, I'm just checking not Instagram, I'm checking fucking Twitter real quick. If why the fuck did this guy follow me? Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I'm just checking. Anyway, we're on 4chan. Specifically, we're on the Bant thread, so I guess we'll take a look at that, you know. I haven't somebody somebody sent me a picture that I guess was on 4chan earlier, and I posted it to Twitter, as well as Discord, you know. We'll go ahead and we will, yeah. I gotta be careful because I don't wanna show shit that should not be showed, you know. What the fuck? Hold on. Yeah. We're good. What the what the f- I'm confused as to what like the backstory to this was. Was it like this guy? Oh, it's coming. Boink. Right on the chin. I'm confused as to what the backstory for that was. Was the guy in the glasses like, dude, fucking, are we like, fine, take a free shot, you know? Or was it like, you won't hit me, you don't have the balls? Um, how did the Karen who got shot have 3 kids with a man, dude? Honestly, like, I talked about iDubbbz and how he definitely got put on some kind of medications that completely changed his personality and the way he views and thinks about things. And that's why we had that sudden shift. Even if it wasn't so sudden, but there was just like this weird, like, I feel like everybody remembers the moment that iDubbbz truly became like shitty. And that was probably with the whole defending the OnlyFans for his girlfriend thing. But there's no way that was like the moment the switch flipped, right? But like there is a good chance that that woman, she was not told no enough in her life. And when life started telling her no, it made her really fucking depressed. And when she went to therapy, as a lot of women do, she was told that it's not her that's the problem, it's life that's the problem because, well, life shouldn't be telling her no. So if life is telling her no, then she needs to go find somebody or something else that is going to make her happy. And if she isn't happy right now, then she can take medications to make her, at the very least, not sad. And those medications probably turned her into a lesbian. Late in life, she probably had an epiphany, quote unquote, because she took pills for like a year and a half, and she decided she likes women now, and she didn't want to be with her husband anymore. I'm willing to bet that is what happened. It would not surprise me one bit, you know. And well, you get like one thing always leads to another. You know, what you think happened today because of something you did 5 minutes ago, it happened today because of something you did 6 months ago. That's just the way it is. You may not even realize it, but if you just kept tracing, just keep tracing back, you just keep backtracking like it's algebra. You'll find that the elements of the situation that you're in right now started way in the past. Shit that you may have even forgotten about, you know? And yeah, that is like whether you believe in destiny or not, the fact is this was always going to happen given the trajectory that she was on. She had a chance to stop that, but she decided not to. She decided she would just continue to choose wrong, and it caught up with her. I was talking with my wife earlier, you know, like I complain about my life right now, but I'm not doing that bad. I have enough right now, and I thank God for that. But the reason I have enough, other than God, you know, making sure that I have enough, is the fact that I keep on doing the right thing. I don't implode my fucking life by being like, you know what, I don't feel like going to work today. Fuck you, boss, and then getting fired from my job or something like that, you know? I don't make momentary decisions that will echo in the halls of my life for days, weeks, months, or years to come, you know? I had to learn to be that way after a while. And some of the greatest times of my life were also times where like I was just dog shit. You know, I was just not like a good guy to be around or just a good guy at all, you know? Like I know all about it. You know, you can make good decisions and have bad things happen. Sometimes it happens, but it's hard for you to make good decisions and only ever have bad things happen. Even if you're not happy with where you're at in your life right now, if you're making good decisions, and I mean really good decisions, not necessarily always safe decisions, but good decisions. If you're making good decisions, it's going to be really hard for you to be down bad, that bad for that long, you know? It's like homelessness. Like the only people who are chronically homeless, the only people who are like homeless, like you know, the homeless bums for lack of better term, those people have like mental illnesses. And I don't mean like they're depressed. I mean there is genuinely something wrong up here. They hear voices. They're fucked up in the head. And I don't even mean that to be like mean. It's just like the truth. Like they're just not all right up here, you know? Um Either that or they're on drugs, right? If you end up homeless and you're doing the right thing, you're not going to be homeless for long, because it's going to be almost hard for you to continue to be homeless if you're doing the right fucking thing. It's just the way it is, you know? She's Canadian. Oh boy. That's a really good monologue. So back to the medals. What medals? Chad Wheezy. I'm confused what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Fighting is cool. We need it. Oh. I need to know the backstory. Of on the medal on the wall. Forget this video. Let's get the Naga story. I told this story last time, but like this is a second place medal, and the only reason I keep it is because not that I'm like, oh, dude, fucking second place, throw that out, but this was a second place medal in a division where only 2 guys showed up. I was one of the guys, obviously. Now, the way Naga works is if you have 2 guys show up in your division, it's not just a one and done thing where you go out and you grapple and whoever wins the medal. It's a best 2 out of 3 situation. In the first match, I popped my shoulder and I couldn't move my arm. So the reason why I keep this is not because it's like, I came in second. I did a really good job that day. All I did to get this was show up. But the reason I keep it is because I popped my shoulder. I couldn't move my arm. And instead of being like, no, I can't compete in that next match, just take it. Take the gold medal. I tried to compete in the next match with a popped shoulder. So this is not like I showed up and I did really good and I got second place. This is a reminder of a time where I did something good, where like I could have easily been like, no, it's cool. Like I totally have a good reason to not wrestle, to not compete in that second match. I had a really good reason, but I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. And of course I lost, right? Obviously I lost. I'm grappling with one fucking arm. But the fact that I could have just continued, literally, like I was at the medic station getting my shoulder iced. Like they sprayed me with the cryo shit, the cryo spray that makes everything mad cold, and then they put ice on top of it and they were wrapping me up. And the ref came over and was like, hey, I just want to make absolutely sure you're not doing that second match, right? And I said, why? When is it? And he was like, well, it's going to be right now if you say yes. And I was like, fuck it. I ripped the ice off and I was like, nah, we're doing this, you know? So that's what this is. This isn't like, I came in second, I did really good. This is like, hey, I'm proud of myself for, even though I had an excuse and even though my shoulder was so fucked up, I couldn't like lift my arm, you know? I couldn't like move my arm every which way. I still went out there and I tried, you know? It's, when it comes to a winning mindset, you know, I had to develop that over time. I had to develop that after like years and years of doing the wrong thing for a long time, for long times. And you know, I finally kind of have it down now that I'm fucking 31 years old and I'm not really that interested in competing anymore. so it's important to me to have that reminder of like a time where, yeah, sure, I came up short, but I went out on my shield and I'm proud of that, you know? Um, because if anyone's gonna get something from me, I'm not gonna give it to them. They're gonna have to take it from me. You know, that's like you need to have that mindset. Like, no, he's not gonna walk through me. I'm not just gonna hand this to him. If I hand it to him, it's gonna be because he truly earned it from me. And me getting hurt in the first match and then being like, no, I don't want to do the second match. To me, that's not earning it. To me, that's I was just too fucking out of shape and like I twisted my arm the wrong way and I popped it. All right, whatever, you know. Like he was gonna have to fucking take that thing from me. I wasn't gonna just give it to him, you know. So yeah, that's what this is. This was a dagger fighting tournament right here. If you're wondering about that, this I did a couple of weeks before this. I went to this like Chinese martial arts tournament. I took part in Shuai Jiao, which is jacket wrestling. I didn't do too well in that. It's completely different from jujitsu. It really is like a whole different animal. It was really fun though. Like I'd love to. If I can get to an area with Shuai Jiao dudes, I'm definitely going to get training in with them. But um, I also entered into the dagger fighting division just because I figured, why the fuck not? Let's have some fun with it. And I ended up taking first. So I'm happy about that, you know? Um, Elon talked about how these cities are financially motivated to keep the druggies homeless around to keep getting funding and they don't arrest the dealers. Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%, you know? You should do an Irish Hitler stash. I do whenever I'm shaving, I do some kind of funny mustache and I show my wife every time and she pretends like it's just as funny every time I show it to her. Um excuse me, jeez. She got shot in the area not very far from George Droid. Well, yeah, I mean, how big of a city is Minneapolis, you know? Is Minneapolis even the capital of Minnesota? I'm curious about that. Let's Minnesota. Minnesota. State defined by its deep Native American roots, French and Scandinavian heritage. It's not fucking defined by its Native American roots. Get the fuck out of here. Yes, St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota, apparently. Of Minnesota. And they actually changed the Minnesota flag to the Somalian flag. That is actually fucking crazy. That is actually fucking crazy that they changed it to the Somalian flag. Look at take a look at this. Take a look at this bad Larry. Anyway, no wonder the Somalians think they can fucking like scam the fuck out of us constantly. By the way, what's going on, Neon? How you doing, man? Scott has been dead for a while. It's just AI that doesn't read our chats. That's exactly what it is. Neon's the one who programmed it. That's why I read his chats and nobody else's. What is going on here? I am confused. I'm from Chicago. That's not how state capitals work in flyover states. I don't know how they work. You know. Someone donate to him and someone donate and tell him to read the YouTube chat. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should stop reading the chats. I should stop reading the chats and make you guys donate. I'm sure that's how it'll work. I'm sure it'll work fine that way. I was supposed to be looking through the Bant thread, but I don't know if there's anything worth it for me to check out there. You know? Oh.
Your girlfriend, Ecuador, doesn't like it when you talk to other chats.
Well, sorry, hi Ecuador. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm scrolling real quick to see if there's anything interesting on the Bant page. I just want to see if somebody said hello, 4chan. Anyway, Scott, you gonna come with me to World Cup matches this summer? I'll sugar daddy you. Yeah, fucking. We should stand outside. We should whatever the non-European team is, we should simp for them. We should carry their flags around. Like what are the matches again? Boston World Cup matches. Like I think Scotland is playing. We shouldn't even bother with non-European when Scotland plays. We should just be Rangers fans. We should just pretend we're Rangers fans. Boston will host 7 matches during the 2026 FIFA World Cup from June 13th to July 9th, 2026 at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. The city's schedules include 5. Okay, fucking. Match 5 is Haiti versus Scotland. Oh fuck. We gotta be Haitian Rangers fans. We gotta be Haitian Rangers fans. Match 18, tournament, a playoff tournament between Iraq, Bolivia, or Suriname versus Norway. All right. Then match 30 is Scotland versus Morocco. Then match 45 is England versus Ghana. We gotta be Ghanaian. Oh yeah, Ghanan. We gotta be Ghanan Fenians for that one. Norway versus France. Winner of Group E, versus best third place from groups A, B, C, D, F on Monday. Winner of match 89 versus winner of match 90 on Thursday, July 9th, 2026. They do have quite a few matches, you know. I will say that is a lot of soccer. But I'll likely have some tickets for Haiti versus Scotland. Oh boy. Man. The LGBTQ awareness game is going to be in Seattle. Oh, it's going to be in Seattle and 2 Middle Eastern nations. Yeah. That's something like I was talking about the wife. I was talking about the wife. I was talking to the wife earlier about shit that I can't stand, and it's stuff like that where it's like people purposefully try their best to like sneak diss, you know, or like they do things that are specifically designed to get on the nerves of somebody who's minding their own business, and then they gaslight those people about it later, you know, like Sorry, I'm distracted by what my wife is watching on TV. I was wondering if it was from Brazil or not. But anyway, like a good example, the Satanic Temple. I saw somebody who had those stickers on their car, and one of them was actually making fun of Christ, right? It had Christ on the cross, and then it had toxic written next to it, or like Christ on the cross was supposed to be the T, and then it had oxic written next to it in like a few different other like religious symbols as well. Like the X was actually the Star of David, right? They were denigrating Christ on their car. And it's like, I just thought, like, I had I'll be honest with you, I spat on the guy's car. I fucking spat on the dude's car. Fucking, but like, it's a situation where it's like, okay, you wouldn't have those on there if you weren't trying your best to goad somebody into a reaction. But if somebody gave you the reaction that you wanted, you would play victim. You'd be like, whoa, hey, these guys are so fucking violent. It's like, we're not violent. That's what you wanted. You know, if I waited for you to come out to your car and I beat your ass, I'd just be giving you what you wanted anyway. I didn't do anything wrong in that case, in my opinion, you know, the way I see it. Now the law would disagree, right? But, and I feel the same way for everybody. Like, I was talking to her about this earlier too, where like, you'll see dudes in MAGA hats who they go to like the anti-ICE rallies and they'll walk through in the MAGA hat with like a selfie stick and a camera on the end, like hee 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 tee hee 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 oh hee hee. Oh man, we're here and hey, these people are gonna oh man, dude, we're owning the libs right now. And then when somebody is like, yo, fuck that guy, and they take a swing, they're like, whoa, hey, that's assault, buddy. That's whoa. Wow, the left are so violent. So much for the tolerant left, huh? That guy's very violent. I'm gonna go tell a cop. And it's like, like, that's my enemy, so, like, I wish the cop would arrest them, but, like, I'm also not gonna lie and be like, whoa, those guys shouldn't have done that. You got what you were asking for. You know what you wanted to do. You know what you wanted there. You know? It's like, fuck, man. Get the fuck out of here. You know? Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou in a car crash competition. Oof. Ouch. Oof. But yeah, like, that's what that gay pride match in Seattle is, is they're trying to be like, hey, we're owning them. And it's like, honestly, if I was those two teams, I would boycott that match. I'd be like, no, we ain't playing the gay pride one. Sorry, it ain't happening. Go fuck yourself. We're not gonna play into your fucked up like fetish. We're not doing that. Was your wife there under Bolsonaro? What did she think of him? I think she was. I'm pretty sure she was. I don't think she was really into politics like that. I don't think she's into politics like that. She doesn't like the current guy, Lula, and that's because he is like a socialist idiot who bought his way to the election. After, by the way, he had to be pardoned for what he was proven to have taken part in years ago with some form of corruption. So yeah, that's not exactly that's not exactly he's not the guy. He's not the guy. Man. You'll love it here. There's a dude called Austin whose existence is the most bleak thing of all time. What are you talking about? Bant? Are you talking about Bant? That's the only thing I could think you would be talking about in this case. I clicked back real quick. I just wonder if we only hear slanted coverage like Trump, these other leaders might actually be great, just not the MSM liking them. I mean, I don't think there's a such thing as a good government, at least not in the world today. Like, could there be a good government? Yeah, of course there could be someday, and I'm sure there were good governments in the past, but I don't think there is a single government that you could actually say is good. There's always some aspect of them that is like bloated and corrupt and disgusting. And like, yeah, sure. Like there's upsides to everybody too. There's upsides to a bunch of different things. But I don't think Venezuela, for instance, I don't think those were the good guys. Those were not like, or Maduro, excuse me. Maduro was not the good guy. Like, not like, there's this joke that people are like, wow, I'm so glad the good guys won every single fucking war. That's like a joke that people will say sometimes. Just because the good guys can't win every single war, it doesn't mean the bad guys always win either. Like, not every dictator that we take out is actually a good guy in disguise. It's just that, like, he wanted to get off the Federal Reserve System, fractional reserve. He wanted to get off the petrodollar. He had his own banking system that was going to be on the gold standard, and that's why they took him out. No, sometimes people can just be shitty. You know that, right? And it wouldn't surprise me to find that Maduro was fucking shitty. And judging from all the Venezuelans that I see on the internet, I don't really know any of them in real life. I've known like one actually, baby, wasn't fuck, I forget his name. The dude that got hit by the car in Springfield, Raul. Was he Venezuelan?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I've known 2 Venezuelan people in my life, and one of them's dead. So I don't know tons of Venezuelans, but I have seen a lot of Venezuelans who are really fucking happy all over the internet because Maduro's gone, right? I have a feeling Maduro was not a good fucking guy, regardless of what interests the U.S. government may have had in taking him out. And not just for the Venezuelans, but also he was treating America like a fucking dump. He was allowing drugs to be trafficked from Venezuela into America. He's sending his criminals, instead of putting them in his prisons, he's sending them to America so that they can shit up our nation. To me, that's an act of war. Like when Castro did it, when Maduro does it, to me, that's an act of war. I would say, yo, stop trying to fucking exile your shitheads to our nation, or we're gonna fuck you up. But that's why I'm not leader of the free world or anything like that, because I don't have the mind for politics beyond, hey, if you don't knock that off, we're gonna bomb the fuck out of you. You know? But hey, you know, it is what it is. The economy doesn't exist there, so hearing someone buying into the election sounds about right. LMAO. Do you mean in Venezuela? I'm confused what you mean by that, Joe Buttslasher. I may have missed that. Maduro will be a ring card girl for the UFC White House card. I hope so. I fucking hope so. I already read that one from Face Spirits. Man. Yes, talking about Bant. Yeah, I appreciate Bant. During season 2, when I first went on there was like a lot of bad shit said about me on there, as there is a lot of people. And I know that eventually there was like the Scotty Rocker meme, which was ironic. And I know there's still a lot of people on there that ironically like me. But I don't think you can ironically like someone if you don't actually like them at least a teeny tiny bit. Baby, if you want to turn the light off, you can. It's cool. Baby. Baby? Hello? If you want to turn the light off, you can. It's cool. Oh, no, it's fine. No, I'm cool. I only got a half hour anyway, and like I can stream in the dark. I haven't done a dark stream in a long time. I gotta throw my hoodie up.
No, it doesn't matter, but yeah.
Yeah, so fucking turn it off, because you seem like you're getting ready to go to bed, you know? When you're married for long enough, you can just tune your significant other out and like go to sleep, and that's what my wife and I will do, you know. Except it's hard to do in the morning. Like this morning I was kind of tight. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of tight because I didn't get any sleep at all last night, and my wife like dropped something and it like scared the fuck out of me. I remember like spazzing out in the bed, and I was like, you know. And then I got up and I fucking hit her with a chair. No, but yeah, that was like, I remember that was scary, and it made me mad because I'm just like, I was trying to sleep and I was just like, fucking damn it, you know. But yeah, it's a superpower. It's a superpower you get. Next month is going to be the 5-year anniversary of my wife and I being married. February. It's going to be February, that day in February.
You don't know the date?
Nope, I forgot. It's the 6th or the 7th, right?
Huh.
The 6th. Yeah, February 6th. But anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, like going back to 4chan, like I appreciate that those guys are funny, because whether it's ironic or not, they do funny stuff. They make funny things, and I do like I don't visit there, right? But like I do see from time to time through people that send me stuff, some of the things that people say and some of the things that people make. And it's fun and it's funny and I appreciate it. Yep. Oh, excuse me. Compared to the Reddit, you know. I want people to keep posting me to the Reddit just because it makes them seethe so hard, you know. It's like they try to hide the fact that my existence makes them angry. They try to hide it behind that, like, and I don't think they're all Zoomers, but they try to hide it behind that like Zoomer like kind of attitude, like that Zoomer arrogance, right? that I'm better than this guy. Dude, Scott's a fucking lolcow. I saw somebody say I'm a lolcow on Reddit. Like, keep posting me there all you want, because it's just gonna make those guys like fucking shit their pants more, and I think that's funny. I'm doing nothing. I'm just minding my own business, and they're just there like, damn it. He's a fucking lolcow, dude. Dude, he's a fucking lolcow. Dude, Scott's a fucking lolcow. You know, like that's the way they are, and it's like, ooh, down bad. Fucking down bad. But yeah, thank you, 4chan. Peace out, Neon. Yeah, I'll talk to you later about you know, the pictures I'm supposed to send you. You know, don't worry, I'll get the back and the front this time. No, but what's it called? Yeah, thanks for being the cool ones. Thanks for being the ones that not only didn't forget about me, but also the ones that when my name is mentioned, there's, you know, there isn't 5 people who are like, dude, he was fucking nonsense, dude. Why the fuck was he even around? Like, dude, he's so, dude, fucking, dude, I hate that guy. What the fuck, dude? But no, I'm not the loser. He's the loser, actually. He's a fucking loser, is what it is, dude. He sucks. He's nonsense, dude. Fucking like that, like trying to convince you that somebody is a bad person when really it's so obvious that you just don't like them personally for a bad reason, you know, that type of shit. What was I gonna say? Like, thanks for not being that way. Thanks, guys, I appreciate it, you know. Back and the front is crazy. Hell yeah, that's what boys do. Zoomers don't even know what that means. Zoomers don't know what that mean. What means? Dunning-Kruger shit there. Yeah. Scream at them anytime you walk in the room. Piss yourself. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Excuse me. Wait, can we pause so I can grab some coffee or don't talk about anything cool? Yeah. Scotty rocking forever. What's going on, Hildebrand Slade? How you doing? Oh, the word lolcow. Yeah. Like, that's one thing I realize is that, like, there's no meme culture anymore. And it's because the internet's gotten so big. There's so many people on it now, particularly younger people. I remember there were certain memes that, like, regardless of whether you were a normie or not, you kind of saw it and you got it, you know? And I mean, Zoomers have that. They have, like, the 6-7 shit and stuff like that. But, it's just different. And, like, it's kind of cringe looking back at it, the obsession with memes of, like, the 2010 to honestly 2020, that like decade or so, you know. Like the obsession with memes. You had dudes who would rate memes, like dudes that tried to make their entire YouTube channel or presence online like, this is a good meme, I would rate this a 5 out of 6, you know. I would rate this a 5 out of 6, 7. Fucking but yeah, like what's it called? I'm getting distracted by Montana. My wife is watching a Montana YouTube video right now, and I'm like, wow, it looks nice out there. Wow, not bad. But yeah, like because of that, like Zoomers have abandoned a lot of what like you know existed on the internet a little while ago. Like memes are not as big of a thing. At least there isn't like a meta economy regarding the like memes and stuff like that. But then in addition to that, they're also gonna bastardize whatever they do keep, you know. Josh Block is like barely a lolcow. Like you had to put effort into making someone a lolcow, and they had to fall for like whatever you were doing, you know. If like in order to mess with Chris Chan, you had to take out a Craigslist ad claiming that he was selling his fucking car so that he would get all these phone calls and people visiting his house about like trying to buy the car. Like that's the creativity you had to have. With someone like Josh Block, it's just dude, he's streaming in my city. Oh, dude, I recognize where he's at. I'm gonna find him and be like, put the fries in the bag. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of fucking weak, if we're being honest here. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of losers on Reddit who just they're mad at my existence, and it's very clear why they are mad. It's so clear why they're angry. Like, what if somebody tells me there's a post of me on Reddit, or like if I go to Reddit and the fish tank subreddit pops up and I'm like, oh, let's check it, and I happen to see a post with me on it, which has happened a couple of times over the last like month or so, you know. Like I will get curious and I'll see people who are talking shit and I'll click on their like you know what, fuck it, we'll do it right now. We'll do it right now. Fuck it, who cares? Let's have a little fun, shall we? Let's have a little let's have ourselves a blast, shall we? Um yes, here it is. And it's got even more comments than I originally anticipated. Um yes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's Scottception. Bro just sees red and it's over, right? 921 post karma. That is way too much in my opinion. But there was some other guy that I saw, right? There was some other guy that I saw who was like um there was some dude that I saw who had like 90 something thousand. It was I think it might have been this guy, right? I think it might have been this guy. No, it was not him. Um there was like I'll click people's shit when I get curious and I'll see they have like way too much karma, or like they're always contributing to like r slash like shit packers, you know. It's, oh, like this guy right here, right? Like I'm curious about it. 85,518 comment karma. Sure, the post karma is low, but fucking holy shit, man. Holy fucking shit. All right, bro. Okay. All right. You know, spend more of your time hanging out on Reddit while I do actual shit. You know, fucking go. Yeah, I'm the lol cow. I have an actual life outside of the internet, and I do good things with my time. I'm generative, but you know, it's a losing battle to really try and like talk to somebody like that in the first place or talk about them. But like, it's just like, man, you know, there's a piece of me that when I see that, it's like you are beneath me in every sense of the word, and the internet is giving you the ability to feel like, you know, it's not, you don't even feel like you're better than me, but it's giving you the ability to talk shit in a way that you wouldn't be able to if you were around me, you know. So there is that sort of like spiritual aristocracy side to it, where it's like this guy is of the plebeian caste. He is lesser than me, and I would put him in his place if we were in a room together, but unfortunately we're not. So, you know, he's just going to sit there and, you know, talk like that. And yes, I did happen to downvote it when I saw it. I did happen to downvote it when I saw it. Cuz fuck you, that's why. But like there is also a piece of me that's like, man, what makes somebody like that? You know? What makes somebody like that? And like there's, I don't know, maybe I have a hard time putting my finger on what it is exactly that bothers me about it, aside from the fact that somebody's talking shit, right? Because it definitely goes beyond that. But yeah, like the bottom line is the only thing you can really do that is the safe answer is to just be like, yo, that guy's a loser. What else do you want? You know, a lot of these people are fucking losers. What are like, you know, that just is what it is. What are you gonna do? You know, it's a waste of time to think about it, but I also get my rocks off by thinking about things. You know, I'm always trying to figure things out. I'm always trying to get to the bottom of it. That's just the way that I am. It's the way that I think and the way that I make sense of the world. I just make sense of whatever's in front of me so that I can be like, okay, I got that figured out. It's not a threat. I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't really matter that much anymore anyway, because I know where it's coming from. So let's just move on, you know. Um Can we get a shirt that says "My mom just died. I'm going through stuff when assholes do stuff"? Yeah, maybe I should make that. Maybe I should make that. Being a lolcow is too normal for them, so it doesn't mean the same. Yeah, like, yeah, yeah, ugh. Gen Z has lolcows, but I think COVID broke them. Like what? Other than Josh Block, um, it's all Gen Z fucktards with nothing else in their life. Nah, I'm sure. I'm sure Reddit is probably mainly Gen Z and millennials, specifically late millennials, like dudes in their um early to mid 30s, maybe even late 30s. You know, I'm like a very very late millennial. I was born in 94. Um you know, and because of that, you know, I can sometimes forget that like late millennials are like in their late 30s right now too, you know. No, it's not just Gen Zers. I don't want to throw hate on Gen Z. I don't want to be one of those unks who's like, you know, you fucking kids just don't know. You fucking kids just don't know how to. You want everything handed to you. It's these Gen Z pussies. They're not like us millennials. I don't want to be that guy. I definitely don't want to be that guy. You know. But yeah, you know. Reddit is mostly Air Force. That is very true. That is very true. You know. There was a guy at my job who's too much of a pussy to just quit and complained every day and was constantly on Reddit. Yeah, and I'm sure he was complaining to Reddit about everything, you know, and I'm sure on Reddit he was the smartest, coolest, most well-read, most educated. He was the most everything good and the least everything bad. And everyone around him was a fucking idiot, including you, Face Spirits. He was probably talking mad shit about you too, right? And he's sitting there talking about this shit and he's like the worst everything. Like it's just the exact opposite of everything, you know. It's not even an escape at that point. It's literally just like feeding your narcissism. It's a self-fulfilling cycle. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of dog shit, of just like awful people and stuff like that, you know, just awful people saying, no, you're actually not that bad, in fact you're the best, and the people that they're saying it to going, wow, you know what, I think you're right. It's just stupid. LMAO, holy shit, he was former Air Force. That's hilarious. Of the last comment, that is pretty funny. I'm in my 20s, and I think then the deck is stacked against us. It's stacked against you. It's stacked against everybody. And I mean, do Zoomers have it worse? I don't know. They could. They could have it worse for sure. They could. I don't know if they do, but they definitely could. I'll say that. When it comes to like this is something that I've been thinking about lately too, because as I'm trying to get involved in a new field, as I'm trying to kind of make my way into tech, if I'm able to, it's kind of a bad time to get in tech because there are a lot of layoffs happening. But even with that, I mean, whatever, I got to do something, so I might as well just keep on trying to get in tech. After all, I don't need 1,000 jobs, I just need one job. So whatever, you know? But I see a lot of Zoomers, and it's not just in tech, it's everywhere, talking about how they simply cannot get jobs. And they're talking about how they're cooked and they're never like they're just fucked, and it's never going to get better for them. And I can remember being in my early 20s thinking the same thing, that it was never going to get better. And don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly where I want to be right now. And I'm not 1,000,000% happy with where my life is. I'm not in love with where my life is, but I am doing a lot better than I used to be doing. That is for sure. I don't, you know, it's funny because I never had Aryeh come to my place. He had never even been outside of my place. I would assume somebody who was a mutual friend of ours that had come to my place before, I would assume he probably heard through them. But when he and I were talking on a stream one day, he said, when I met Scott, he was living in squalor. And it's like thinking back, it's like honestly, I kind of was living in squalor, you know. But like I never thought it was gonna get better, but it got better, you know. When you're at that point in your life, when you're just getting started, especially because of the way that everything used to be compared to how it is now, where you could get a job at the age of 18 and you'd be like set for life, you'd be all good. It's not like that anymore, you know, unfortunately. But like it's real easy to be like, dude, I'm never gonna make it. I'm cooked, bro. But I mean, I'm 31 years old right now. I've been down, I've been up, I've been in between, and I'm doing all right. You know, like you're not guaranteed anything. Nothing's guaranteed. But if the average happens to you, you're just gonna keep getting older. You're not guaranteed it, but you know, on average, people do tend to live into their 60s, 70s, 80s, sometimes even 90s, right? If you just keep getting older, like that's a lot of time, man. Something's going to happen at some point, you know? Like things are going to be fine. It may not feel like that right now, but things will be all right, you know? So yeah, like when it comes to Gen Z, I do think it's a combination of like, yeah, it's shitty right now and it's been shitty for a while, but um you're going to be all right. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out, man, you know? I'm embracing my status as Unk. All right. I fine. I'm 31 years old. I'm not allowed to even uh to glance in passing at a girl who's under the age of 25 anymore. I don't understand memes. Um Fucking I'm not allowed to go anywhere anymore. I should be at home with my family, you know, all that shit. But like it's just true, you know, like as a newly minted Unk, it's not that like it's not gonna be that bad, dude. Just keep on fucking waking up every day and just do whatever you can. You'll end up somewhere. It'll happen. But yeah, the lathe was sabotaged. Boomers did it. Yes. Yes, they did. I could go on for hours and hours, as we all could, of course. But yes, boomers did it. Boomers fucking did it. 100%, you know? Um, I'm still at Super Saiyan 3. I need to become Ultra Instinct. Don't worry, you'll get there one day, Zach. Just keep on training. Just keep on training. Um, Holy shit, they deleted the leak photo from the fish tank Reddit. Confirmed real. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe, maybe, just maybe. Come on, bruh. Early Gen Z are basically 30. Honestly, I mean, yeah, they are. Like 27, 28, 29. Those are like the earliest Gen Zers, you know? Um, so yeah, you know? It's like Gen Z, the cutoff for a lot of people is 1995. I was born November 15th, 1994. I'm a month and a half away from being a Zoomer, but like I've always kind of identified with millennials in that way because like, you know, like when I graduated high school, Party Rock Anthem was only like a year or two old. Um, a lot of the music was built around like, you know, still partying, still getting fucked up on drugs, drinking copious amounts of alcohol, having as much sex as you can and all that other stuff, you know. And there were like it's not like that's the only thing that connects me to millennials, but like that's even though I thought that music was dog shit at the time and a lot of it was, I have come around on some songs. That 303 song, fuck, I forget what it's called now. I even have it in my playlist. I got to oh, don't trust me by 303. That's actually a good song. I was wrong about that when I was in middle school when it came out. Very good song, I have to say. But like that's what I grew up with, you know. So it's like I'm not a Zoomer. There's no way you can call me a Zoomer, you know. I just don't. You just can't. You can't. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. All right. Um, but yeah, like the youngest Zoomers are in their late 20s and they're gonna be 30 pretty fucking soon within the next year or two, you know. I fired a tech last month because he broke a $20,000 lathe. Oof. Ouch. Damn, that sucks. Yeah. that's one thing I'm worried about is like, when I enter into, I mean, I don't know what you do, Joe Butt Slasher, but that is one thing I'm worried about is like I enter into the tech field and like a giant data breach happens on my watch and I take the blame for it and now my career's ruined. Like that's the type of shit I'm afraid of, you know? That's the type of shit that'll keep me up at night if and when I do find a job in cyber, you know? It's like, oof, ooh, ooh, ooh. Man. I'm just looking around right now at some of the stuff I missed. Hilda is underage. Vote to kick. Oh man. We're getting close to that 2 hour mark. I'm not gonna skip out right at the 2 hour mark, but we will get out of here closer to the 2 hour mark. You know, LOL Scott come back 20 years late to be like, I was wrong about that. That shit actually bangs. I was fucking wrong about it. You know, really good song. She wants to touch me, whoa. She wants to love me, whoa. She'll never leave me, whoa. Whoa, oh, oh. Don't trust a hoe. Anyway, I liked a few 303 songs, but I haven't heard them in like a decade. Yeah, like that's the only 303 song that I've ever actually heard, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like they were kind of one-hit wonders, as a lot of like club song guys are. Like that song is specifically built for the club, you know? So you'll have people who they break into mainstream success for like a song. They end up being a one-hit wonder, you know? And then like even if they have some actually like really, really good songs, it's like, well, you're only ever gonna hear them in a club anyway, so whatever, you know. Looks like we got a Wigger in season 5. I hope so. I fucking if we got a Wigger in season like I like I'm I you know when I talked about that evil, when I talked about that dark side we all have in us. Um one of my fantasies for a long time has been to be still brought in for fish tank seasons, right? Even if it's just like like once a season thing, like I go in there and I do some kind of like activity, or like it's fight day or something like that, right? And one of the people is somebody who's from, say, the Reddit, or they're a hater from Twitter, because it's only a matter of time until one of those people gets on, right? If they haven't already. And they forget that they're not on Reddit anymore, and they're like, Scott, you're a pussy, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I am. And then Sam's like, well, why don't you fight? That's my fish tank wet dream. Is like, please just like bring somebody on that I can really haul off on, that like it's not like somebody I like, or somebody that I at least like, even if I don't love the hell out of them, I don't hate them, so I don't want to hurt them. I'm talking like, let me go body shots, and like I'll take the safety off and I'll throw with some real fucking malice for once, you know? Because I've never really hit anybody with like a real intent to hurt them on Fish Tank. I've kicked it up with Brian during Blood Games, right? We fucked around a little bit and I kicked it up on him, but I wasn't trying to fucking kill the guy, you know? I don't know. I don't think that actually was on video either. It would have been on the shitty cam. It would have been on the trail cam for shitty. If it was on anywhere, it didn't end up getting on the what's it called? The camera, you know. I forget damn, I forget what they call those cameras, the brand or the make and model of the camera, but the cameras that they were using with the cameramen, with the gimbals and shit. There was that, and then there was the time that I sparred with Greg. Greg was on Bitch Tank. This was actually like, this was Richie got it on camera, and we got to actually see that. Like, you can look that up on the internet right now. Those are the two times that I picked it up a little bit more on people during Fish Tank, but I've never really hauled the fuck off on anybody. And I'm just like, please, please get Maga Faga in there, or who's the other guy? Who is the other guy with 80 something thousand comment karma? Get Big Anime Fan on there. Get that guy on there, and ask him if he wants to read some of his fucking Reddit shit to my face. Please. I would love that. Scott, you got to do a live reaction on that GoFundMe for the dumb Karen ice bitch. Oh, dude, we'll do that next time. I should stream tomorrow. If not, it's gonna be Sunday. But either way, Pitbull, Riff Raff, and who else to complete the trifecta of Wigger Lauds? Fuck. Pitbull, Riff Raff, and there's got to be one more. Damn, that's a good one. I don't think Macklemore. I would say Eminem. Eminem definitely, Eminem, like, of course, Eminem belongs on that list for sure. Hildebrand Slade says, my dad always talks about how he worked his way through college in the 70s. Shit is so fucked. Yeah, good luck doing that nowadays. Good fucking luck. You could work full time and still attend college classes, and you would not be able to pay your way through college today. It's insane. Meanwhile, these dudes are like, yeah, I work a summer job, 40 hours a week. Still have plenty of time and money to fuck around with my friends. Haha, it's fun. It's like, dude, get away from me. Get away from me, man. Slim Jesus is a good one, but I do think Eminem is more prolific. Speaking of Pitbull, did you see the article about the Pitbull who escaped the kennel by using his mouth to unlock the deadbolt? It's amazing. Yeah. Pitbulls are not stupid dogs, and that's what makes them even more dangerous, because if they really want to get at somebody, they'll find a way, I saw another article about a capybara in Brazil that a pit bull attacked one of its cubs, not cubs, one of its pups. I think capybaras have pups. I think that's what they call them, the baby capybaras. A pit bull attacked a baby capybara, and the capybara's mom grabbed the pit bull and dragged him underwater and drowned it. So that's pretty crazy. Shit. This video of the CCTV, oof. Jeez. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Holy shit, we created the Wicker Roundtable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just looking around right now. I finished Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic last night, and I decided I would do another playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This time I'm doing a Malkavian playthrough, and I'm having a fun time with that so far. And yeah, I can't wait to see how that affects the game even more than it already has. And then after that, I'm going to play through KOTOR 2. And I am kind of excited for that. I liked KOTOR. It was a really good game. I had a fun time with it. Was it the best Star Wars game? No, I've said that before, but it was a really good game. The combat was repetitive, but I didn't get completely sick of it. And I just liked it. I enjoyed it. I could see why people liked it, The types of quests that you had were really cool. And I'm curious to see what happens when you play through as a Sith Lord. I'm curious, as just, dark side Force user anyway. I'm curious to see how that affects the game. And I'm gonna do that at some point as well, but I'd rather play through KOTOR 2 first before I start playing a second playthrough of KOTOR 1, Alex B was Wigger enough for me, thanks. Alex B, oh man. Hope Alex is doing okay. The king of Wiggers might be Justin Bieber back when he drank lean. That's a good one too. Scott, did you also review the McDonald's security guy who stopped ICE that went viral today? Nah, I didn't do that. If you remind me tomorrow, Face Spirits, I'll do all this stuff that you're telling me about now. I'm just like, I got some stuff I gotta do, so I do gotta get out of here soon. I'm just giving it another minute or two to see if there's anything anybody else wants to talk about that won't require me to like pull up a video or something like that, you know? Excuse me. What would be the best era to grow up in your guys' opinion? That's a tough one because I bet the 80s were really fucking cool. Um, you know, like somebody said born in the 70s probably. Yeah, like if you could like I don't know if I'd want to be a kid in the 80s or if I'd want to be a teenager or if I'd want to be an adult. I guess depending on when you're born, you can be both a kid and a teenager or a teenager and an adult depending. Um, you know, but like I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Um, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, like if I could just experience the 1980s, I don't know if I'd want to be a kid or an adult, you know? And when I say adult, I mean a teenager moving into adulthood or just a kid who's going to end up, you know, becoming a teenager in the 80s. I don't know. I just want to see what the 80s were like cuz I feel like they were probably a really good fucking time. You could still have fun back then. I talked about this back when I was streaming on the Fish Tank site. I talked about it. If you watch music videos from the 80s, they're really cool. They're fun. They're a little bit campy, sure, but like, you know, that whatever, who cares? But like you could have fun back then. It was like not everything was irony or post irony or like whatever that circle of irony bullshit that iDubbbz came up with, right? It seemed just like a good time to be alive, man. You know, and the 90s, like it seemed like another good time to be alive, even with some of the shit that went down with like, you know, the LA riots and shit like that. The another genocidal black people trying to kill white people riot, you know. Um, but like even with that stuff, it's like, you know, it really seems like it was just a good time to be alive, you know. Man, you know, it sucks the way the world has become. And I just the reason I think the 80s would be a a good time to experience is because um there was technological advancement that was closer to what we have today, but it was before technology became cumbersome, you know? Like, imagine some of the first computers, imagine the first internet, being able to experience that as a teenager and an adult, you know? That must have been really fucking cool. Now all this is just a fucking way to get spied on. That's all it is. It's a way to get spied on and lied to and lied about. You know, that's all it's become. And you're just trying to find a way to entertain yourself on this thing that used to be all for entertainment, but now it sucks a lot of the time, you know? Um, but hey, you know. Yeah, but nobody who got AIDS wasn't fucking somebody who fucked a gay. Woof. But AIDS were on an all-time high back in the 80s. I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were. Gen Z, well, of course they were. That's when AIDS was like it debuted. It like debuted in the 80s. Um Gen Z fascination for Frutiger, Arrow, and the back rooms is really validating for my unk ass 2000s childhood. I don't even know what Frutiger Arrow is, or is it Frutiger Arrow? I'm curious about that. Um, I changed my answer to pre-Heart Cellar Act. Yeah, yeah, I bet that'd be nice. I bet that'd be nice. A way to get spied on and get your mind ruined one way or another. Exactly, you know. If I was around in the 80s, Joe Butt Slasher would have had several more brothers and sisters. A anyway, I was gonna say something. I want to stream on Kick. I have a couple more people who pop into my Kick channel every day. And the reason I want to stream on Kick is because I can listen to music and I can do a lot of things that I can't do on YouTube. It just sucks because I don't know how many of the people who watch me on YouTube, all like 100 of them, I get like 100 views every live stream. Like right now, it says I've gotten 138 views total for this entire stream. I don't know how many of those people are going to follow me over to Kick. And if I do a Kick stream, it's going to be like no YouTube stream to, you know, running concurrently because I want to be able to play music and do fun stuff, you know? I think I need to just man up and be like, fuck it, I might have a 2 viewer stream, you know? But like, I think I'll do it. I think I'll try and do it. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. It probably won't be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be like next Wednesday or next Friday or something like that. I'll do like a Kick stream where we can actually have some real fun on here. You know, like that's the internet that I miss, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, where like you used to be able to do and say what you actually fucking wanted to do on the internet, and you wouldn't get popped for playing 2 seconds of a song, which is what happened to my last stream, by the way. I got popped by copyright claims for playing 2 seconds of a Blink 182 song. And they were like, "Oh, you can't monetize this." And it's like, "What? You want the 4 cents I made?" Wow. You must be struggling, you know? It's like, shit, man. Why not Rumble? Rumble wouldn't be a bad idea either. It's just that I already have a Kick, as you can see, Face Spirits, you know? As you can see, I already have a Kick. So, you know, I'd rather go over to Kick. I feel like it's easier to get noticed on Kick too. Like if I went over to Kick, I'm not saying I would blow up, but I feel like maybe it would be a little bit easier to potentially at one point or another build an audience if I was to really put the effort in. Maybe, who knows, right? Whether it's like through the sweat of my brow or if I game the system in some way, you know? So that's kind of why I favor Kick, is because it is kind of known to be a place that's a little bit easier to get online for, you know? If you do a Kick stream, set up the same TTS system that Aria and some others have, ask them about it. Yeah, I think Seth has that, where you do the exclamation point and then the name of whoever you want to speak in, and the TTS will emulate that voice. I do think that's interesting, you know? Actually, X is probably the best now with Elon. Sweet Galactic says, "Is it time, Neo?" It is. It is. Anyway, I streamed on Twitch. I streamed on Twitter for years concurrently with my YouTube and my Twitch. And none of it ever I never got my viewership went down eventually, if anything, because it's registering views that are not actually views. And like it was just annoying. Like I was not actually growing with streaming on X. It was almost kind of pointless to keep streaming there. So that's why I stopped streaming on X and I started streaming on Rumble. And Kick. And there's people like Face Spirits and Sweet Galactic, and there's been a couple more people who, yeah, they're fucking like, you guys are watching me through Kick and you're actually engaging with me, which is something that the people on Twitter never did. People on Twitter didn't watch me and they rarely ever engaged with me, you know? But like there's a few people who pop into my Kick channel every day now. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And that's part of the reason I want to do it, is because I see that there's people who are popping into the Kick stream for one reason or another, and it's making me think, I don't know, maybe I should put some more effort into that, you know? But yeah, either way, we're gonna do a Kick only stream, and we're gonna have a good time with it, and we're gonna not have to worry about fucking any stupid shit where it's like, oh well, I showed 2 seconds of a movie, that means the movie producers want my money now. We're not gonna have to worry about that stupid shit, you know? Thank you for popping into Kick, Zach. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, I should get out of here. Okay. Scott, did you ever do anything with Josie? How do you rank her? What do you mean do anything? Do you mean like have I ever collabed with her? Because if so, yes, I had her on a Jeopardy stream. It was actually Fish Tank Jeopardy, Fish Tank Family Feud. I did a season 1 versus season 2, and she took part in that. I haven't talked to her in a long time. I don't know if she would even answer me if I asked her to collab again, but I would collab with Josie. I think she's cool. I like Josie. I appreciate her. I think she's a chill gal. And when you say rank her, I don't know if you mean like by looks. If you know me, you know by now that I believe all women are queens. So, I don't have to rate Josie because she's a queen in my book. All right. Um, but yeah, anyway, I think it's about time I head out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, as you know. I should be streaming tomorrow. Okay. If not, it'll probably be Sunday. If not, it'll definitely be Wednesday. Either way, thank you again. Thank you guys so much again for showing up. And yeah, till next time, peace out.